in 2024, he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. If convicted, so let's leave that there. These are all allegations, but he would have to come out of the Hall of Fame. Or he's convicted of these allegations.
Rob Parker talks about removing Chauncey Billups from the Hall of Fame. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
And I got to say this, that is just damaging, all of it. And even the bilking the people with the phony poker games and rigged and all that. If all of this is true, I don't know how you come back from this from the standpoint of being involved in basketball, the way people feel about you, despite what you did on the field, you know what I mean? And he earned all of that. He was a hell of a player. I covered all that with the Pistons. Yeah. He was tremendous. I mean, he's the MVP of the finals. They beat Shaq and Kobe and 4 future Hall of Famers, Karl Malone, Gary Payton. I mean, all of that.
Yeah, as far as Chauncey Billups, definitely an NBA GOAT, an NBA Hall of Famer. What he did with the Pistons during their run in the early to mid-2000s, that championship team that defeat the Lakers after acquiring Malone, Payton, you had Shaq, Kobe in their prime, and they beat them, I believe, 4-1 in that final. So the Pistons, legendary, that group. Chauncey Billups, again, man, you kind of burnt your bridge with the NBA, allegedly, if this is true. But just by your name being in this, dirtying up the shield, either way, I think he's going to be done. Yeah, they're going to have Tiago Splitter there as the interim head coach, but I just think that's going to be the leeway for him to be the permanent coach, or them finding a different coach in the very near future. I don't see Chauncey Billups coaching the Portland Trailblazers, even if he's proven to be innocent of this.
And in 2024, this past year, right?
Yeah.
He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Kelvin, I don't know how you could do anything, and obviously we say if convicted, so let's leave that there. These are all allegations. No one's saying he's guilty and should be thrown under the jail, any of that. But he would have to come out of the Hall of Fame if these allegations are proved or he's convicted of these allegations. I
don't know if he's going to be able to come out of the Hall of Fame. No player inducted, I believe in every sport, never gets kicked out of the Hall of Fame. If you're the NBA, I don't know if they're going to make an exception just due to this whole gambling situation that's been going on in the NBA for many years now. Are they going to try to make an example and kick Chauncey Billups off the Hall of Fame if he is proven to be guilty of these gambling situations? So I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't be surprised. We're in a different day and age. We already know Adam Silver, he will bend the knee in order to please the people. Maybe if the owners want him out, then at the end of the day, Adam Silver, he works for the owners. So maybe this could be a situation to be like, you know what, this gambling thing is serious. We don't want it in our league, and anybody that's caught doing it while an active player will be banned. And if you're in the Hall of Fame, you can be kicked out. I don't know if it's going to happen, but don't be surprised if it does.
I don't know of any other way how he could be involved or how you could honor him in this situation.
It pains me to say, you mentioned that 2003 when he got there, was it that 10-year run or give or take he had. I was there, like you said. I used to work at WDFN, the sports station there. I was just getting into my career, and
I was there every night.
Games. Yeah, I'm going to the games, setting up the booth for our radio. Got the Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington in the future. I can just sit there and learn and watch, and I got to be around the game and the team. And dude, that run meant so much to me. He became one of my all-time favorite players, as you mentioned, because he was great. He made all the big shots. That team was so fun.
That nickname was real because he was Mr. Big Shot.
Without a doubt. And he meant so much to the city and that team. You were there. So it pained me when I saw that this morning, anchoring the news, my phone, and it sees his face. Of all the faces, just didn't feel like that would be the face you would see.
You couldn't believe it.
Yeah, no one believed that Chauncey Billups would be up to a situation like this We always thought he was that clean-cut NBA player, did his thing, was a great player on the floor. He was just that player that every team wished they had, especially in his prime years and in the later stages of his career. So for Chauncey to put himself in this situation, terrible, even though he could be innocent, just being in the mix, allegedly mafia and rigged poker games, you don't need to be involved with that stuff. So again, for him to be pulled out of the mix, because there were other players at that table, but why weren't they indicted? Why was it just Chauncey Billups? And then, you got Damon Jones and Terry Rozier for different situations. But just for Chauncey Billups' charges and allegations, he shouldn't be in this situation, but he is. And again, if he's not kicked out of the Hall of Fame, he's definitely going to be banned from the NBA. He won't have any involvement with the NBA if this is proven to be true, or if it's false and this gets dragged out and he takes a plea deal, maybe he still may get banned from the NBA. It's going to be tough for Chauncey to resume his NBA career.
No, I'll be honest. You were there. There's nothing. You didn't hear anything about Chauncey except good dude, this, that. And again, this is all alleged. We don't know. We hope not. But as things are right now, to go back to the point of the conversation, you absolutely have to take somebody out the Hall of Fame, because if this were just rigged poker games, as bad as that is, that's separate from the NBA. That is why we have federal investigators, criminal investigators, state, investigators, all these different type of investigators and police officers who can handle that. That is separate from the NBA, especially considered, he's no longer a player. Obviously, he's a coach, but you could say that's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's his best bet, just to be a part of the illegal poker games. Nothing to where he's fixing games, but to my knowledge, allegedly, he may be in the mix as far as the actual games itself. But for right now, he's highlighted in these scam poker games. So again, Chauncey Billups, you shouldn't be in this mix, man. You just got into the Hall of Fame in 2024. You just got a contract extension with the Blazers. They just re-signed all their young guys to extensions, new deals. So this Trailblazers team was going to be on the up and up. You just got Dame Lillard. You got Drew Holiday. You got a great mix of young guys and old guys on this team, vets and rookies and young players, to where this team could have been doing some great things this season. Not to say that we're going to be a playoff team, but they were going to be in the mix. They were going to be a play-in team. So Chauncey Billups, he dropped the ball, and the Trailblazers, they may have set their franchise back another few seasons. People were gelling with Chauncey Billups as their head coach. Now they're going to have to pivot on the fly.
Because people get pulled over, people have other domestic violence, people have substance abuse. That people have personal live issues.
I agree to a certain extent. I don't think you could look at him the same way of cheating people out of money, knowing that the games were rigged. I know.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't think that's pull you out. That could have been kept you out from getting in. I'm not going to use that as pull you out. I'm pulling you out.
I don't know how I feel good about Chauncey Billups at all if I know that he was a part of the mob and the mafia, and they had rigged games to bilk people out of money. I'm just being honest.
I'm not questioning. No, I get your morale. I'm with you. What I'm saying is the NBA, I have to go, like, where do I draw the line? That's nothing to do with me, meaning the entity of the NBA.
But according to that, all right, so, I don't want to get into hypotheticals, but somebody could do something heinous, and because it wasn't done because of basketball, you still would be okay with it. He should stay.
What I'm saying is,
it's still a bad look either way. You're doing illegal gambling, allegedly, but being in the actual game and doing it and trying to affect the outcome of an NBA game, I think that's where it hurts a little bit more than him doing some poker type stuff, allegedly. I see a lot of people trying to go that route with Chauncey just because they respect him a lot and they're hoping for the lesser of the outcome, but it's still a bad look either way.
Because if he presents a challenge to where I draw the line, like someone who's in the Hall of Fame right now, like you said, I don't even want to use a name. Player X is in the Hall of Fame. Come to find out, he beat his wife pretty bad, and come to find out he does it regularly. Do you go and then now pull him out? You get what I mean? It becomes a slippery slope when someone does something criminal, and where do you pull? The reason why I would pull him out is because this had something to do with the NBA, if this, what is alleged, actually happened. Because you are telling guys, hey, I ain't playing him tonight. Hey, we're tanking. Hey, you might want to put some money on us. We're going to look bad tonight. Now that directly affects the integrity of the game, the trust of the game. This is directing my business and our fans.
Yeah, that's the thing where Chauncey, he could be hurt a lot if he was pulling out players and possibly affecting the outcome of the game. Now, if it's just poker stuff, best outcome for him, even if he is guilty, at least he'll kind of still be in the mix as far as NBA circles. Don't know if he'll have a job, but at least he won't be looked down upon all the way, but it's still a bad look either way if you're Chauncey Billups, man. You messed up big time, had a chance to have a great coaching gig. So for you to be in the mix with this, even if it's poker or NBA games, doesn't matter. He shouldn't be in the mix with this, and he dropped the ball.
That I'm pulling you out.
But there's also, but also in contracts as a professional athlete, there are moral clauses in there that have nothing to do with basketball. Moral clauses on how.
That's why I will fire you.
On how you.
And have come to find out he does it regularly. Do you go and then now pull him in the night? Hey, we're tanking. No, hey, you might want to put some money on us. We're going to look bad tonight. Now that directly affects the integrity of the game.
Yeah, if it affects the integrity of the game, that's when it's like, you know what? He has more of a chance of being pulled out of the Hall of Fame. But either way, once you're in, doubt it's going to happen. But I get how they're trying to divide it amongst the middle. Like, okay, if he did this crime, it's one thing. But if you're affecting NBA games, that's a whole different thing. So, again, it's a slippery slope. Do you look back at every player in the Hall of Fame and if they committed crimes? Do you have a checklist like, okay, if you did this, you're pulled out. If you did this, we keep you in. That's why I don't think he won't be removed, and other players, they're not going to be removed from the Hall of Fame no matter what they did.
The trust of the game, this is directing my business and our fans. That I'm pulling you out.
But there's also, but also in contracts as a professional athlete, there are moral clauses in there that have nothing to do with basketball. Moral clauses on how.
That's why I will fire you.
On how you represent
yourself. Yes. And I will fire you for that, Rob. I'm with you. I will say, in your contract states this, you did X, you're fired. Again, pulling you out of the Hall of Fame becomes a very slippery slope if it becomes things that are personalized.
It's not slippery slope if you're convicted of this and you look at where because it's a big scope, and I get it. You know, there's two different charges here.
Right.
So you're saying that you would be cool with Chauncey if he just bilked people out of millions of dollars with the mafia. You're saying you're cool with that.
Not me. I'm saying
you. I'm asking you.
No, absolutely not cool. But I think that's horrible. I think he should.
But you're saying you wouldn't take him out of the Hall of Fame if it was just that charge, is what I'm
correct,
asking.
Kelvin. If I'm Commissioner Washington,
I disagree.
Because what I'm saying, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't book him for events, blah, 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 blah. But it becomes a slippery slope, Rob. This person, his wife, this person was selling dope. This person frauded people out of money because he was with Enron. You know what I mean? He was with Enron and he frauded people. Somebody themselves because they lost all their savings. And where do I draw the line?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a huge slippery slope. Again, I don't see it happening. I doubt it's going to happen. Once you're in the Hall of Fame, you're pretty much stuck there. Now, again, if they want to start doing that, then you got to go back in time and check out everybody. So what's the lesser of the evils? Putting your hands on somebody, milking somebody out of millions, or rigging these NBA games? Now, if you're an actual league, that's a terrible look. You rigging games. Now, if you're at poker tables doing some illegal stuff, you can probably come back from that. But either way, if Chauncey wasn't in the Hall of Fame and these allegations were what they are now, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. His name would have been removed. So he kind of barely got in a year before the feds came in. So he's lucky this didn't happen last year. This investigation didn't conclude and they dropped the bomb on him. He's lucky to be in the Hall of Fame right now because if this happened a year ago, he wouldn't be in there. No chance.
When it becomes things that are away from the game, because if people are stopping...
Where I draw the line is the behavior where you do not hold yourself to a certain standard.
So you're going to be pulling a lot of...
Well, that's fine.
Commissioner Parker is going to... I'm not mad at you. I hear that.
I would pull people out if they're convicted. Like they couldn't pull O.J. Simpson because he was acquitted. Whether you agree or not, he was acquitted. Okay,
but then he was found guilty of the civil. So you get what I'm saying? So it becomes a... that's why I'm saying I wouldn't want to have to become the judge, jury, and the executioner on every criminal thing that someone's convicted because I have thousands of people in my Hall of Fame, which you pick the league, and every year someone DUI, car crash, killed somebody, this person, and it's
I just don't know that. I mean, you say that, but I don't know if it's that many people that you're making the case that they have all these other skeletons and they're still in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it may not be a lot of people. We're kind of just speaking in hypotheticals right now, but either way, Chauncey isn't coming out of the Hall of Fame. It ain't happening. Again, now if he was about to be in the Hall of Fame, he was in review, and then this stuff happened, he wouldn't be considered to be in the Hall of Fame if he was about to get in. But again, he barely got in 2024, luckily for him. And in my opinion, he's not getting out of the Hall of Fame because it's just going to have to be a domino effect with other people. Now you're going to have all these outrages on social media like, why is this person in the Hall of Fame? Look what they did, and look what Chauncey did. So either way, not coming out of the Hall of Fame, but bigger picture, man, Chauncey really messed up his NBA career, allegedly, if this is true. And even if it isn't true, I don't see him being the coach of the Trailblazers. He won't be in the NBA. They already found an interim head coach, and I believe they're going to find a head coach in the very near future. Chauncey Billups will be fired, and he won't be back in the NBA.